Hey fellas, Snorkel MMA here, and welcome to my UFC Fight Night Mexico Moreno versus Erceg Fight Night predictions. So this is pretty much number one contenders fight, title challenger fight, unless Pantoja just fights unless he fights Kara France. But the winner of this probably should fight for the title next, or they should fight for the winner of Pantoja Kara France. You know, heavy implications. We got Joey Pyfer, Joey Slifer Dragon, Kevin Gastelum, racially motivated Drew Dober. He's versing one of the guys. What's his name? He was on the Sphere, like Mexican guy. Yeah, no, what's his fucking name? Manuel Torres, yeah. I did know that, it just slipped my mind. Okay, moving to the first fight. Austin Hubbard versus MarQuel Mederos. So Mederos is coming in as the minus 190, slight favorite. Mederos only has one UFC fight, and it was against Landon Quinones, which he was on the Ultimate Fighter the same season as Austin Hubbard. I feel like I watched that season of Ultimate Fighter, you know, Chandler McGregor, and I feel like fucking 8/10 of the fighters on that shit are in the UFC now, so... yeah, I don't really... like, the Ultimate Fighter is just pretty much just guaranteed you're going to get into the UFC, I guess, now. And, yeah, I can't even remember who won it, because there's so many people in it from the show that it's like, lost all value who won. Anyway, yeah, so Landon Quinones, I think that he was worse than Hubbard. Like, Hubbard seemed better. I think they're in a different weight division, but yeah. And Mederos, you know, pieced him up. Yeah, he just seems slicker than Hubbard. I think he's gonna he'll just keep Hubbard at range and just piece him up with like clean technical striking. So yeah, I'm gonna go Mederos by decision. Okay, moving to the second fight. Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Jamall Emmers is coming as the minus 220 moderate favorite. These are both like Unk Maxes, like they're both 35 in featherweight. I feel like, you know, fighters can be older nowadays because, you know, it's more structured, the training and stuff, you know, it's not as like underground as it used to be, and so people know how to actually train and they know how to recover so they can last longer. I think you can be 35 and still be in your prime, but I think you have to be like middleweight, maybe welterweight, but welterweight's like the cutoff. I feel like lightweight and below 35 you really start to slow down, and this is featherweight, so, you know, it's even below lightweight. Yeah, so these guys are both Ankh Maxers. This Miranda guy is like a submission specialist. 16 submission wins out of his 17 wins in his career. And like, I can't remember, like 12 of them in the first round or something. Yeah, Miranda, he's a bit untested. He's fought 5 in the UFC, and he's lost 2 of them, won 1. But he lost to Benoit Saint Denis and Morgan Charrier, you know. BSD was at lightweight and he's a featherweight. I think he just took that fight as kind of like a replacement. And Morgan Charrier is decent, you know. I think he's probably better than Jamall Emmers. Like, I know Morgan Charrier just lost Nathaniel Wood pretty decisively, but I do think Morgan Charrier is good. And Emmers, you know, he's been around the UFC for fucking ages, bro. He's just been lingering around, like negative record, I think. I think he's like 12, he's like 8 wins, 9 losses or something like that, just lingering around. Perma. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for the underdog, Miranda. I think he's going to get the sub. I feel like, yeah, because Emmers is a good striker, but he always goes to decision. So I feel like Miranda's going to have 15 minutes to find a submission. Like, he could even, like, you know, he could jump the gilly like 8 times in that amount of time. And I feel like Emmers he's not good enough to defend submission onslaught for that long, and I don't see him finishing. So yeah, I'm going to go the underdog, Miranda sub, round 2, I think. I feel like he won't get him round 1 because Emmers will be, you know, veteran enough to hold on for a while. But I think that he will eventually find the sub. Okay, moving down to Rafa Garcia versus Vinc Pichel. I don't even remember this Vinc Pichel. I looked it up, and apparently he fights like fucking once a year before... he fights like once a year, and I think it took like a year break a little bit ago. And yeah, so Rafa Garcia is coming in as the minus 480 heavy favorite. Vinc Pichel, he's 42 years old at lightweight. You know, I just said I don't really rate that. I feel like he's going to be slowing, and he's coming off 2 losses. Like, he was pretty good before, but now I feel like he's on like a decline. Yeah, so I'm going to go Rafa Garcia. Yeah, I feel like Vinc Pichel probably has like 1 or 2 more losses before he gets cut and just retires. So yeah, I'm going to go Garcia by decision. Moving down to Julia Polastri versus Lupita Godinez. So Lupi Godinez coming in as the -180 slight favorite, which is weird because Lupi is coming off 2 losses, but it was against like title contenders in freaking strawweight. It was like Mackenzie Dern and Jandaroba. And Polastri is like, yeah, huge step down in competition for Lupi, IMO. Well, I don't understand how she's only a slight favorite. Because this Julia Polastri, she just came off a split decision against Corey McKenna, like that Poppins, that like Wales chick that's like been around for ages but is super mid. And she got a split decision off that. And like Lupi was on like a 4-fight win streak beating people that I think they're better than this chick and also Poppins. Yeah, so I feel like this is just a setup for the Mexican fighter to win. It seems like that to me. Like, I feel like Lupi, this is like the lock of the card for me. Lupi by decision, just because it's WMMA. And this Polastri trick is quite tough. She's actually like a tough broad. Okay, moving down to Melquizael Costa, Milky Costa versus Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez is coming as the -165 slight favorite. Yeah, so I'm going to go Rodriguez because he just came off a win over Austin Bashi, and he's like a really big hype train. I don't really know what his story is, but I saw his Contender Series fight, and apparently he's like really hyped from Italy. He has like a really big following in Italy or something, and like, yeah, he had like a lot of hype. And it's kind of a similar style to Milky, where like, you know, it's like a grapple submission maxer. But I do think Milky's a little bit better on the feet. Like, you know, he's been around the game longer, and he has like a better standing game than that Boschi guy. But I do think Christian Rodriguez is just way better on the feet, and he showed that he can actually stop takedowns and he can deal with grapple specialists. And I feel like, yeah, Boschi was a better grapple specialist than Melky. Like, Melky's a little bit more rounded. But yeah, I feel like Rodriguez is better on the feet, and he's shown that he can keep it on the feet. So I think that, yeah, he'll keep him on the feet. Costa will be, you know, getting pieced up, shooting, like getting really tired in round 1, and then round 2 he'll get KO'd by Rodriguez. I'm going Rodriguez KO round 2. Moving down to Ateba Gautier versus Jose Medina. Gautier's coming in as the -550 heavy favorite. Yeah, I'm going to go Gautier. I don't understand why this Jose Medina even got in the UFC. Like, he got through the contenders off a loss just because he got his ass beat so fucking hard that it was impressive. And then I think Dana White, he was like, I know he didn't have much training, and then Dana White was like, oh, you'd be much better a weight class below, which I think he was fighting. He must have been fighting at light heavyweight, and he's like, he wanted him to go all the way to welterweight, but now he's fighting at middleweight. Got completely destroyed in his first UFC fight after his Contender Series loss. He somehow got into the UFC with against Zachary Reese. Like, Zachary Reese, I think, you know, to lose all 3 rounds of Zachary Reese is kind of a showing, because Zachary Reese is really fucking dangerous in the round 1, like early round 2, but to actually get unanimous decision by him and lose all rounds to Zachary Reese when, like, you know, he doesn't, it seems to me like he really gasses out. Yeah, I don't think Medina has much in the feet, and Gautier looked really impressive in his Contender Series, looked really solid. It is weird how they keep feeding Jose Medina, like, impressive looking strikers off the Contender Series with, like, really good records. Like, you think they'd give him, like, an old guy so he could, like, show his toughness or whatever, but they just keep giving him people that he gets pieced up with against. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, I'm going to go Gautier by decision, I think, because Medina's got the Homer Simpson, like, big head build where I don't think he's going to get finished. Okay, moving down to Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vegara. Chairez is coming in as the -265 moderate favorite. See, this is a really close fight. I think, like, Vegara's a little bit more well-rounded. Like, he has, like, a more of a complete MMA game, whereas Chairez is, again, more of like a grappler, like, heavy hitter. He's not very technical on the feet. So I feel like Vegara will be the more technical fighter on the feet, and I feel like it's going to be a very close, like, split decision win for Vegara. But he'll just keep it on the feet one of the rounds or 2 of the rounds and just piece him up and, like, you know, defend takedowns and just edge out the round. Or, like, he'll get taken down, reverse it, be on top. I feel like, yeah, he's going to win 2 out of the 3 rounds, like, really, really close. It'll be like a split decision win for CJ Vegara. Okay, moving down to Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez is coming as the -150 slight favorite. Yeah, this is an extremely close fight again. Like, all of these Mexican v Mexican-ish, I think CJ Vegara is, like, Mexican-American, but yeah, the Mexican v Mexicans are all extremely close, and the Mexican versus, like, non-Mexicans are all, like, kind of favored towards the Mexicans, it seems like to me. Yeah, this is a really close fight. I feel like Borjas is probably a little bit more well-rounded than Rodriguez. Like, he has a more complete game. But Rodriguez, you know, he has hype. He has, like, a really good showing at Sphere. And, like, he had, like, a good media day and shit. Like, he has hype behind him. And he's super fucking aggressive, just, like, caution to the wind. And I think Borjas is a little bit of a slow starter. So I think, yeah, Ronaldo Rodriguez is going to run at him. I feel like he's going to, like, push him back, maybe get him taken initially, or, like, land a few good strikes, knock him down, then go down, follow him down, and submit him round one. Just how I see it. Or I could see Borjas piecing him up. But yeah, I feel like Rodriguez just has... He'll just be like too much for Borjas to handle. Like, he's like aggression and pressure. Okay, moving down to David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Martinez is the... Oh, fuck my thumb. Ah, shit, bro. I need to get a fucking boom stand, bro. Fuck. Like, I hurt my thumb the other day and I'm holding it. So yeah, this seems like another fight where... the Mexican guy is pretty much just getting a free win, it looks like. This is Martinez's UFC debut. But, you know, he had a really good showing on the Contender Series. And he was a champ in, like, a pretty good regional org in Mexico, I presume. I didn't actually look into it. But, yeah, he was a champ with a title defense in a regional org that's actually pretty decent. Because, like, it was, like, listed on his, like, actual record. If you know what I mean. Like, he was, like, listed in the topology. Like, they only show, like, actual decent orgs in, like, their win-loss ratio. So it must be a pretty decent org. And this Simon Oliveira is coming off 2 losses. He hasn't fought in fucking 2 years. Last time he fought was January 2023. So, yeah, like, almost 2.5 years this cunt hasn't fought. This is just a clear setup victory for Martinez for me. Moving down to Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. Raul's coming in as the minus 310 moderate favorite, and Morales is coming off of 2 losses. They were to good competition, so this isn't like another complete setup for the Mexican guy to win, but almost. Like, I feel like Arequa Lang or whatever was actually a tougher fight than this, but for some reason Raul Rosas is a way heavier favorite than that. But I feel like I actually rate Arequa Lang or whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. But yeah, I feel like that was a better win than this. I do think this guy's a little bit... he's like bigger than Arequa Lang, which may give Rosas Jr. problems. I feel like if this gets past like round 2, Rosas could have a really tough round 3. Because I feel like in round 1 and round 2, we'll get him down, he'll try and finish. But if this guy's technical enough to, like, you know, defend submissions and shit, I feel like Rosas could like burn himself out round 1 and 2. And then maybe get finished round 3, but I think so. I feel like even if that happens, Raul will survive round 3 and get the decision win from winning round 1 and 2. But I do think that Raul will probably get him down round 1, almost finish him, maybe get some ground and pound, like weaken him up. And then Vince Morales will be tired, and then round 2, I think he'll get the sub round 2. So I'm going Raul Rosas Jr. round 2 sub. Oh, moving on. I feel like this should be the comment. I love Drew Dober, but, you know, come on. It's Joey Sly for the Dragon Pyfer. That's going to catch on, trust me, bro. Okay, Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer's coming in as the minus 550 heavy favorite. Honestly, bro, I feel like this close is a lot closer than the odds and what, like, the rhetoric is saying. You know, Kelvin Gastelum never gets finished. He's only lost to really elite people if you look at his record. Like, he doesn't lose to non-elite people. Like, he gets absolutely wiped by elite people, embarrassingly sometimes, but he does not lose to non-elite people. And I do think Chris Emmers is a little bit better, but this is probably the second toughest fight of Joe Pyfer's career. I feel like if this gets past round 1, Kelvin's going to win round 2 and 3, and he's going to get the decision win. I feel like if this gets past round 1, if I, like, knew 100%, like someone told me, like a genie told me, that this is going to get past round 1, I would go Kelvin Gastelum. But I do think that Joe Pyfer will catch Kelvin, just because Kelvin, I feel like his defense is not that good. Like, if you look at, like, his fights, he gets pieced up a lot. He gets fucking hit, but he's really tough. But Joe Pyfer, I feel like he has, like, just different power. And Kelvin won't be able to get away with eating shots like he usually does. Like, I feel like Kelvin kind of has a good head movement, but he gets murked, bro. Like, he gets hit a lot. And yeah, I feel like Joe Pyfer will find the chin, or he will find, like, I don't know. He's not really athletic. I feel like, yeah, he'll find like an overhand or like a hook or something, and he will knock Kelvin Gastelum out. Like, maybe he'll knock him down, and the ref will finish it too early, and it'll be like a huge controversy. I could see that happening. Like, if fucking yeah, like, I don't know, Herb Dean like stops it way too early or something. I could see that happening, definitely. But yeah, I feel Joe Pyfer will get the round 1 KO. But if this gets past round 1, mark my words, Kelvin's going to win round 2 and 3, 100%. But yeah, my official pick is Joe Pyfer, KO round 1. Moving down to the co-main, Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. This is a near even odds fight. This is a very close fight. This guy isn't even that dark of a Mexican. I'm joking. He's, I'm going to edit that out. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to give the edge to Drew Dober here, just because these guys are both coming off losses. Drew Dober is coming off 2 losses, but this Manuel Torres, he had like a big hype behind him before the Sphere. He got KO'd round 1 as well, which is a bad sign. Drew Dober tied with DP for the most KOs in lightweight history, so it's not a good sign that this guy got sparked in his last fight. And also, we just know that Drew Dober can come back off losses. Like, he's had a very up and down career. And we know that he can come back off losses. We know he's like mentally kind of used to it, he can bounce back. But this guy might not be as good. He had 2 losses, but it was kind of early in his career and it wasn't in the UFC. Coming off a big win streak, a lot of hype. Mexican pressure. There's a lot of pressure on this dude's head, bro. He knows he got knocked out. He knows Drew Dober is a knockout specialist. Mexico, coming off a loss after a big hype. I feel like there's a lot in Drew Dober's favor mentally in this. And I feel like it's so close that the mental edge will mean a lot. So yeah, I think Drew Dober KO round 2. I don't see him fighting in round 1 because Manuel Torres is technical and good and strong. I feel like he'll survive round 1, but I feel like Drew Dober will catch him round 2 and knock him out. Okay, moving to the main event. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. If you can't tell, I'm Australian, so let's fucking go Steve-O. Moreno minus 195, moderate favourite. Fair enough. If I wasn't a little bit biased towards Australia, I probably would go for Moreno, but honestly, I do think I'm going to edge slightly toward Erceg. I feel like he's a more dangerous fighter, and, damage wins fights, so if he gets like a really promising submission, I don't think he will sub him, but I feel like he could be really close, or he drops Moreno. Moreno, he doesn't really get dropped that much, but, Steve Erceg does have a really fucking nasty, in-tight hook that I could see him finding. I think that Moreno will have more significant strikes at the end of the fight, but Erceg will just land a really big hit, and then it'll edge the round towards him, or he'll get, a really close submission, almost locked in, and it'll just, edge the round towards him, I also feel like this fight as well, it's whoever's pushing the other guy back is going to have the advantage. If Erceg's pushing Moreno back, then Moreno won't have room to, shoot on him and control him. If he's pushing Moreno back, Erceg, he'll be able to get in close. I feel like Erceg striking is really OP in close with, tied hooks, just, really in close, dirty-ish fighting. And Moreno's probably a little bit better at range fighting, just fighting at max range, if kicks and just full-on max extended jabs. And I feel like if Erceg's on the back foot, he's going to get taken down, or he's going to get pushed up against the fence and clinch graped a little bit. So I think this is going to be a really close fight. I think whoever wins this is just going to get 3 rounds to 2. Might even be a split decision, but I think, yeah, the combination of Erceg just landing bigger strikes, and it's not like Moreno's that much more technical than him, and just having a lot more danger towards it will edge the rounds towards Erceg. I don't think he's going to finish Moreno. Moreno's too technical and too good to get finished, but I feel like he might get dropped or, put into dangerous submissions that just edge the round towards Erceg. So yeah, extremely close, 3 rounds to 2, split decision win for Erceg, I think. Okay, guys, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. This is actually a really good card. I really like the main, co-main, and the fight before that. And there is some cool fights in between. I feel like there's going to be a lot of finishes, but it is a little bit dirty because I feel like they've kind of set up Mexicans to finish people by giving them subpar opponents. But, they always kind of do that. They always, wherever the hometown is, they're always kind of give them favorable matchups. Sometimes, unless they're in Canada. For some reason, I feel like when they're in Canada, they always give Canadians losing matchups. It's kind of funny. But, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.